Welcome to Meditating with John Vervaeke. I'm a cognitive psychologist and a cognitive scientist at the University of Toronto, where I teach and scientifically study mindfulness and related phenomena like insight, flow, mystical experience, transformative experience, higher states of consciousness, the cultivation of wisdom, the aspiration towards enlightenment. I've been practicing Vipassana meditation, metta contemplation, Tai Chi Chuan, and Qi Kung for over 29 years, and teaching them professionally for close to 20 years. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. But you should know that you've joined an ongoing progressive course. The introductory course is done, and if you want to catch up on that, please check the links in the description of this video, and you can find all the previous lessons. Right now, we're moving into more advanced techniques. Every other Monday is a Dharma day, in which I will teach a practice, a principle, that builds on all the previous practices and principles and adds to them and enriches them in some fashion. It would be very helpful to me if you liked this video stream. That will raise its profile in the YouTube search algorithm and help me to reach more people during these difficult times with this, I believe, strongly believe, very helpful ecology of practices that I'm teaching to you. At the end of every lesson, and at the end of every sit, because we meet Mondays through Fridays, Tuesdays through Fridays we're just sitting, there's always a Q&A. Please keep the Q&A limited to questions about this course. If you have more general questions, please come to my live stream YouTube general Q&A that we hold every third Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's review what we did yesterday. Last Monday was a Dharma day. We talked about a way of actually doing Dharma, part of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, a way of reading drawn from the Neoplatonic Christian tradition. This is called Lectio Divina. You pick two sources of text, some sacred poetry, some sacred prose. I'm going to review the process, but also if you check the notes from yesterday's class, from yesterday's lesson on Lectio Divina, it's entitled Lectio Divina, you'll find these stages of the practice described. You'll also find a list of books that are helpful. So for each text, you first set your intention. You set yourself to get into a state of reverence and reading for transformation. You're trying to resonate with the text. Once you set that, then what you do is you have enacted engagement. You read the text aloud and you try to associate with it. You try to feel it. You really just let it resonate in you. And what you're trying to do is notice anything in the text that catches your attention, calls out to you, even if you don't understand why. Something that grabs you. Then you move into the emotional embodiment, the second stage of the process. What you do that is allow yourself to, associated memories and especially emotions come up, and then any imagery, any gestures, any postures that come up in connection with the reading. There might be imagery actually from within the reading. You engage in them imaginally. Imaginally doesn't mean you don't engage them inside your head. You project them as if you were interacting and enacting them in the world. This is embodied. Then you move to the existential ethics. What would it be like to live your life in this way of seeing and being comprehensively? What would it be like to live this way? What would that perspectival knowing as your sort of default setting in the world, what would that be like? And then that leads into the fourth and final stage, the ecstatic, which means to stand beyond yourself, eternal. What's being within that lived perspective, right? Within that world view, what would be disclosed about the world, and correspondingly, what would be demanded from you in order to conform to that realization? So you do that with the poetry. You repeat the same process with the prose. And when you're doing the prose, it'll happen usually spontaneously. This is called synthemata. That what happened with the poetry and the prose will talk to each other. Let them talk to each other as a way of talking to you. And then when you're done, express some gratitude and some resolution that you'll try to remember and realize what has happened to you throughout the reading. Remember, sometimes what comes right isn't a full-blown insight. It might be an inkling, it might be a feeling, it might just be a sense of reorientation. There's a wide continuum of responses you get from Lectio Divina. Strongly recommend that you do Lectio Divina after you do a sitting, right after. So I hope you have your books, your text chosen from yesterday, and I hope you practice it a bit yesterday. You do the sit, we will do the Q&A, and then hopefully right thereafter you can practice the Lectio Divina. Okay, so that's basically what we did. Tomorrow, so as I have more time, we'll have a slightly shorter sit, and I will do the Lectio Divina again with you. I will exemplify it for you again, and then we'll review it one more time on Thursday, and then that should be enough so you get some momentum going. Okay, I think that's everything we need for this morning's review. We'll now sit. We're going to sit for 15 minutes, and then we'll have a little bit of time for Q&A at the end. So please get your posture ready. Please make sure that you set your phones to do not disturb. We will begin when I say begin. Begin. Slowly come out of your practice, trying as best you can to integrate what you cultivated in your practice with your everyday consciousness and cognition, perhaps by reciting the 5 promises to yourself. Okay, we have time for a couple of questions. Reminder that Tuesday and Thursday are shorter days. Osteen Silverstone says, how often do you recommend doing Lectio Divina? I recommend, I do it every day, and I find it is one of those things that helps to help me integrate. So it's an extension of the promising, helps me to integrate what I've cultivated in my practice into more comprehensive vision, worldview, way of being. Try practicing every day if you can. I think it's the kind of thing that traditionally has been practiced on a daily basis, and I've not heard of any sort of negative effects of practicing it daily. And what I've heard is that when you practice daily, it starts to gain the momentum. So you not only get the symptomata between the poetry and the prose, you get the symptomata from yesterday's reading and today's reading, going into tomorrow's reading. So you get the 3 tenses in symptomata, the past, present, and future, and you have the 2 types of text in symptomata. That's what happens for me, in fact. So I recommend that. So one more question. This is from Pleasure of Doubt. After the meeting crisis, you said Lectio Divina was to be done as a group. In this way, you modeled how should we do it in group setting. And I was on the Discord server and answering Brett's question last night. Excellent. Oh my gosh. Excellent time on the Discord server. I really recommend getting involved there. So as I said there, what you want to do then is get into a group. One person will do the reading and the recitation. Everybody practices first silently to themselves as they're doing. The recitation is done aloud, but everybody does all of the stages individually. And then you do something that sort of starts to merge with dialogos. Everybody indicates what they got from it, what they resonated from it. And then you try to get, a resonance between the various perspectives and takes. In the sense of everybody is trying to afford everybody going deeper, seeing more from the text, opening it up, really affording a more comprehensive and expanding field of transformation and transcendence for everybody. So that's how you would practice it collectively. And it should be practiced both individually and collectively, optimally collectively. And what I mean is you'll get the optimal experience usually collectively, because I say then the Lectio Divina bleeds into Dialogos. And if you want to know what Dialogos means, check out a lot of the Voices with Vervaekes where I'm discussing this, or some of the group, or the 4 of us, myself, Christopher Masti Petro, Guy Stansack, and Jordan Hall, we're trying to exemplify that. So that's how I would answer that question. That's all we have time for today. Thank you, as always, for joining. Thank you so much, Sangha. The way you guys are building a vibrant and vital Sangha, really, really fantastic. Keep it up. Thank you, my dear friend and Technomage Jamar, who's behind the scenes working his magic all the time. And my beloved son, Jason, who's always there taking care of troubleshooting things that need to be done here. Please subscribe to the channel to be notified of the next video. On the channel, you'll find the lecture series, Awakening from the Meaning Crisis, the discussion Dialogo series, Voices with Vervaeke. Both of them are pursuing these topics in greater depth and expansion and development. Invite others who might benefit by sharing this series with them to help as many people as possible during these difficult times. As I mentioned, there's an excellent Discord server. Brett is usually here during the sit. There's a group on the Discord server that is sitting. They meet afterwards and talk about it. I know some of you have been going on to the Discord server. I strongly recommend you do that. There's a link that will be provided in the description, the notes of this video. Reminder, we're doing this every weekday morning at 9:30 Eastern Time. There's the general Q&A every third Friday of the month. And I believe that's it for today. So please remember, continuity more important than quantity of practice. There's no enemy worse than your own mind and body. There's no friend, no ally, no true companion better than your own mind and body. Take care, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.